Hi guys, how you doing? Right, here we are again. Right, the video you're about to watch is my friend Dave Thompson, and he's been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Dave has started taking the black seed oil, and this seems to be helping him with his treatment. So have a listen to David, see what you think. Please share it, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon beneath the video, and that will notify you of the next videos that we've got coming out. Now, the object of the exercise is for black seed oil to be taken to human trials. There's been loads of tests, bench tests done with animals, and in animals it's been proven that yes, it helps and it can even cure cancers, etc, etc, etc. But they won't take it to human trials. Now, what we want is enough evidence, enough proof, how no matter how small it is, we need the proof so that we can highlight the fact that they need to look into this. We all pay money towards cancer charities. We've got the Macmillans, coffee and cake mornings. We all want to find a cure for cancer. So let's find it. Let's at least try and do something. Let's not rely on the pharmaceutical companies that unfortunately they need to make money. Right, we don't. Black seed oil, it's 20 pence per person per day to protect yourself against a multitude of problems. Okay, so have a look at it, see what you think. Please, let's get it out there and see where we go. So until next time, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and here we go. What are you doing down there?
I am plumbing.
You're not well.
I have pancreatic cancer, but I wouldn't know that unless they had told me.
Yeah. So, well, hi guys, here we are again. If you've seen my last video, black seed oil, journey into the unknown, I'll mention a friend of mine, Dave. Right, say hello to David.
Hello.
I'll drop a little video into this. When I walked in the house, he was lying on the floor, plumbing of all things. Now Dave's got pancreatic cancer, and as you can see, he don't look too bad, which is a bit of a weird one at the moment. So Dave, tell us, how did you find out that you had cancer? What brought it on?
I found out at the start of December that I got cancer, and that was after probably about 5 weeks of visits to the doctors and to the hospital for stomach pains, stomach cramps, just generally feeling not too clever. But it all went to do with my stomach. When I was eating, within 20 minutes I was in agony. Sometimes I was doubled up on the floor, sometimes I wasn't. So just going up and down to the doctors and having different tests and this, that and the other. It was said that it could be heartburn, so I was given Gaviscon and this, that and the other. And then when it persisted, back to the doctor again. So no, that Gaviscon's not still working, I'm still in a lot of pain. So we'd go for other tests, an ultrasound. So I had that test, come back, went for the results with the doctor, and he said, well, unfortunately we found nothing. So he didn't accuse me of making it up. He said, well, we just can't say what it is, but your liver's okay, and everything seems to be okay. Give it some time and just monitor it.
So initially you've gone in with all these symptoms, and they couldn't find anything wrong. So for all intents and purposes, we're going to sit on it and just see how you get on.
Basically, yes.
So the first advice to anybody out there is, if any of these symptoms relate to how you're feeling right now, to go and get it checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few things helped me along the way. I was already off work because I'd had an operation on my ankle. So I was due to be off work for 6 weeks. Now, whilst I was off work, that gave me the opportunity to chase up my doctors and be persistent. If I wasn't feeling well, going up, and if I wasn't happy with him going to the hospital, if I'd have been at work, I will be honest with you, I wouldn't have had that time on my hands to have carried on following the doctors up, and also saying to the doctor, well, you've still put me forward for the consultation. I am now at the stage I will pay to go private because I know there is something 100% wrong, and I'm not willing to let it go. I need to start having CT scans and then MRI scans, and I will pay for them if I have to, because I know there is something wrong.
Okay, so yeah, sounds a bit strange that does, when you have to insist yourself for the doctors to do anything about it. But you know, this is a conversation that we've had time and time again. So yeah, carry on. What happened then?
And then from there, I requested to have an endoscopy, which is a camera down your throat, and I says I will pay private because I want it done quick. And in all fairness, my doctor says, well, if you're willing to pay private, I will rush it anyhow. So within days I had this endoscopy. So I went for the endoscopy at the beginning of December 2017. Had the endoscopy, and once I come out of having it done, they sit you down for a cup of tea and this, that and the other, and then ask you to wait to see the doctors to discuss their findings. So I did that, and they called me into a private room and sat me down and told me they got suspicions of duodenal cancer. Because when they put the camera down, obviously going into my stomach, they went through the duodenal part and there was abnormalities there. So they says, it looks cancerous and it looks like it's in the duodenal, but we need a CT scan to get a better outlook on it, of like a 360 degree view on exactly what is happening. So they booked me in for that. Yet again, that was a bit of a palaver, because they told me that was on the Monday I got the results, and they told me by the Friday I needed to be sat down and having my CT scan by the Friday, because within 3 weeks we need to be sat down talking radiotherapy, chemotherapy, or possible surgery to correct what they'd found. But come the Friday, well, a couple of days went by, nothing at all.
So at this point, obviously you've just been hit in the face with a hand grenade. How did you feel?
In all honesty, this might sound bizarre, I felt relieved, because for several months now I hadn't been able to sleep at night, and that's not because of wooding. I could not sleep at night. The pain was keeping me up. I would go to bed, within half hour I couldn't sleep, so I'd come back down to try and nod off on the sofa. That wouldn't happen. I'd go into my spare bedroom. Just all night I was just constantly restless because of the pain. But because this had been going on for several months and nothing had been sorted, when they actually told me that they'd found cancer, I was actually glad, because I thought, well, now we know what we're dealing with, we can do something with it. Up until then, it was basically, well, we can't find anything wrong with you, I don't know what you're fussing about. So to actually, daft as it sounds, to be told you've got cancer was a relief, because I thought, well, now we know what we're dealing with. And that isn't me just doing lip service, that is gospel truth. I did actually feel relieved, because I thought, well, there you go, I told you there was something wrong.
Fair play. And talking about it, you're okay talking about it now, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so carry on. Okay. So you've gone back into the hospital for this sit-down chat. Carry on, mate. Let's.
And then I had to go for a CT scan, which was arranged. Yet again, I was told it should happen by the Friday because of the urgency, but they phoned me up with the date was 3 weeks down the line even to have the scan. So I got in touch with my local counsellor, and the local counsellor got it turned around that I had it done within 24 hours.
Whoa.
Which was obviously a massive result, because at least someone was taking it that this was quite urgent. So I went and had the CT scan, and then I went back for the results. And the findings of that CT scan was, from the first endoscopy, the camera down the throat, there was abnormalities within the duodenal part of my stomach, but that was because the pancreas was swollen and it was forcing that out. So that's why that was abnormal, the duodenal, but it wasn't. It was actually the pancreas behind forcing it and misshaping it. But luckily, as I say, we found out that it was the pancreas, not the duodenal, through the CT scan. And then obviously that's when things start escalating slightly, or the severity of the cancer going from, well, it's duodenal to now it's pancreatic, and we're hoping to operate, but we're not sure whether we can, whether we're too late already. So at this stage I was told I was stage 3 to 4.
So you've had to insist on your own scans, and you've had to contact your counsellor to bring your operation into a reasonable time.
No, the CT scan.
Oh, the CT scan, yeah. And then they turn around and say, well, it may be too late to operate.
Yes, they've got to.
Nice. Okay.
They've got to sit down with a full team. I believe they have a cancer meeting every Thursday morning with all these surgeons and oncologists to discuss the cases coming up. And says they needed to sit down and see whether I was okay to have the surgery or not, because it needed the full team.
Okay, we're going to have to hold it here for a moment, and we'll answer them. So, okay. Right, so we've gone to a meeting to discuss what they can do for you in the future, whether they can operate or not.
Yes. So they've had the meeting, and the findings are that where my cancer is growing, it's running alongside. It's running alongside an artery that's in my pancreas. So obviously they can't operate at the moment because it's too close to this artery, and if they touch that artery, obviously it's game over. So what they've suggested now is 6 bouts of chemotherapy to hopefully shrink the cancer, and then give them that bit of space that they need to do the surgery actually on the pancreas itself. So that's where we are with the way going forward.
Okay. So, so your first bout of chemotherapy was, what, 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago, yes.
On the Tuesday, I remember the Tuesday.
On this Tuesday,
yeah.
It's every 2 weeks I have the chemotherapy. So I went for the first bout of chemotherapy.
What's that experience like for those that may be about to go through it? Is it all right? Nothing to worry about, or?
A bit daunting, because it's, and the reason I say it's daunting, it's obviously there to do you good, but it just seems everybody you talk to has that many different variations on what it can do to you that you just don't know what to expect. So you go in there just basically not knowing how you're going to feel or what to expect or anything. But whilst obviously your first one, because you've got to get registered and everything, and you're waiting in a waiting room with other cancer sufferers that are all there for the same reason. It sounds daft, but all of a sudden you've got something in common, and all of a sudden these aren't strangers, these are friends. that you've never seen before, but these are people that you are quite willing to sit there and talk open and frank with, and they're the same as you, because you've all got one thing in common.
So it's like another family, but you never ever expected to meet.
I mean, I've talked from, not particularly youngsters, but you know, people early 30s into the 70s, and the common denominator is you're all cancer, and you're all there for each other. There is no barriers. These are strangers, but they all of a sudden they don't seem strangers. People are just talking about, you know, this is someone you've not met before in life, and they can be talking to you about their fears of death, this, that and the other. It is quite...
Well, a bit surreal, I suppose, isn't it?
But it's also, I don't know if refreshing is the right word, but to me that's the
refreshing word. Yeah, refreshing word.
It felt surreal, but it felt good as well. You know,
so it's
listening to them.
So it's not something to go into a panic about, although it's something not nice. There are people there on exactly the same level that you can communicate with and build relationships, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
Everyone is on the same part in there. Everyone's level pegging, and it all seems very, very calm. And you're there for a reason, and you know why you're there. You're there to hopefully get better, and that's what you're interested in. Strangers you've never met before are wishing you all the best when you leave to go through. But I hope you get on okay with it. All the best. Hopefully see you soon in a couple of weeks. And then you walk in, and then you meet the staff, and all the staff are exactly the same. They're all there for your well-being. So you don't get time to get nervous or anything, because it just all seems to flow just so nice and easy. And it is, I say, very calm, because everyone there is calm. Everyone knows exactly what they're doing and what's got to be done. Excellent. And they just get on with it and make you feel you're a bit dubious of what, but that's soon forgot.
Well, that's nice to know, because it's that for a lot of people would take a lot of pressure off, I think.
Oh yeah, I do say.
So
okay, yeah, because I'm, you know, it's alright. I'm younger than some people in there, but it certainly is not a worrying experience at all. It is, I say, it is quite enlightening.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 48.
48. Okay, guys. So anybody out there of around about the same age having stomach problems, make sure you check it out. So, okay, then you went on to chemo, yeah?
Yes.
How was that?
Chemo was, well, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect. So you just walk into the room and you get you a nice chair, do your cup of tea, coffee, whatever. And your chemotherapy is put through like a
drip?
A saline drip.
Yeah.
Straight into the top of your arm or wherever it has to go. And through the duration of the day, you just sit there while that's feeding you. The nurses check on you, and when it pings that it's out, they'll put your next one on. So that is very, very straightforward. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a reaction to one of the chemotherapy, which they had explained. This one, quite a few people do get an adverse reaction to it, which I did have. Certainly wasn't bad. It was just the nurses noticed I was starting to get a bit clammy, and straight away I hadn't even brought it to their attention. I was just thinking, yeah, I'm getting a little bit warm, but they noticed that I was sweating and looking clammy. And they took me off, and they said that it was an allergic reaction. So they took me off that and put me on a drip for Piriton, this, that and the other. It took about half hour to settle me back down. And then put me back onto it, and I was okay that time. So the actual administration of the chemotherapy itself is literally as easy as sitting there drinking a cup of tea and reading a book. I'd got a good friend that'd come with me on the day, so we'd be having a chat, and then I was getting very tired going through the chemo as well, so I would have a bit of a sleep. Then when I wake up, I'd have a read, or if my mate hadn't wandered off, I'd have a chat with him. But it literally is as easy as sitting there, having a cup of tea and a sandwich. That's easy.
Okay, what about after the chemo? How did you feel?
Straight after the chemo, I didn't feel drunk or anything. Just didn't feel
Yourself?
Didn't feel myself. That's the best way to put it. Didn't feel myself. Something wasn't quite right, but then again, that just put a lot of poison in my body. But I didn't feel bad, and we had a good drive home, because at the time of day, probably took about an hour and a half to get home. So by the time I got home, I was feeling a little bit car sick, and that was that. Came in, had a cup of tea, and went to bed, and I actually felt okay, a little bit sickish, but nothing too major. That was that. So I had an early night, had a great night's sleep as well. So that was something I wasn't expecting, but yes, I had a great night's sleep. That was fantastic. Woke up on Wednesday morning. My friend again, he said he'd stop over the night in case I had an adverse reaction in the evening.
Yeah.
So I got up in the morning, I heard him going to work, so I shouted down to him that I was okay and that. And I got up and I felt tip top. Went round, visited a few people, blah blah blah. Everyone saying, bloody hell, we weren't expecting to see you. And I did, I felt great. As the day was going on, I started to go downhill a little bit, but nothing too major. I would say throughout the day, 80% of the day I was feeling okay. But then when I was starting to feel a little bit rough, I went to bed because I was tired anyhow, and I managed to sleep through. So obviously I wasn't that bad that it was stopping me sleeping. I did get an okay sleep until early hours in the morning, and then the difference between going to bed to waking up 7 hours later was incredible. I felt absolutely shocking. It had started to kick in 36 hours later or whatever. And when that kicked in, the only way I can explain it is a horrific experience. Simply because it's not so much, we've all had diarrhea in the past, we've all had sickness in the past. That isn't a problem. And that wasn't a problem with this chemotherapy. It's just the way it makes you feel. It just totally wiped me out of everything, to the point I am a very positive person. I love life and I love living it. I was lying there sometimes, just drifting off to sleep, hoping that I didn't wake up, because it puts you in that bad a position. But then 10 minutes later, or when you wake up after the little cat nap, obviously you are glad that you're awake. But the pain's still there. But as I say, I can only put that down to the chemicals that they're pumping into you that's playing mind games.
Okay, so if I can just stop you there. What we haven't broached on yet is when you found out that you had your cancer, a friend of ours, Mr. Bird,
Yes.
sort of reached out to me, and we had a conversation about black seed oil. So Dave came up to see me, and he had some oil, and he had just started taking the oil prior to his first chemotherapy session, only a day or so, and then if I remember, you missed one or two.
Yeah,
because It's all very confusing. I wouldn't like to be in this situation. So Dave's had his first chemo, which by the sounds of it knocked him around a little bit. But he's stayed on the oil, he's kept on the oil. What are you having? How many capsules a day are you having?
2 a day, mainly. I take one in the morning and then one of an evening with a hot Manuka honey drink.
Okay.
That's normally the routine, but sometimes I will just have 2 in the morning. It all depends.
Okay, so let's move on to your second chemotherapy session, which was
A week ago today.
a week ago today. And how did you feel after that?
Well, after the first one, I was knocked about a hell of a lot. And I was feeling that ill. That I wasn't particularly taking the black seed oil regular, because everything I was having was really knocking me about. So once that had subsided and I was able to eat and keep stuff down again, I went straight back onto the black seed oil. So prior to my second bout of chemo, I would say I pretty much had the black seed oil religiously every day for a week. And then I had the chemotherapy on the Tuesday, and I have been taking it 2 days, 2 times a day since. So I've literally been on it 2 weeks solid now. Now this time after chemotherapy, I can't tell you what's changed. All I can tell you is something has changed. Now,
Well, you phoned me on the following day, Wednesday, and I thought you was having a party. You was on top of the world, you were so positive.
yeah.
And what were your words? The cancer might as well up sticks and fuck off, because I feel great.
Yeah, and that is how it is. So I had the chemo on the Tuesday, and yet again, by that time I'd already been taking it for over a week solid, and after my chemo, keep on taking it. So I had my chemo on the Tuesday. Thursday I was on my front drive, I'd ordered a skip, I'm filling the skip, putting the new block paved drive on my house. Now that is 2 days after chemotherapy. The only thing I can tell you 100% is, the only thing I have done different, I have took black seed oil every day, twice a day. That is the only thing that has changed in my lifestyle. But what has changed is, I have had little bouts of a 10 minutes here or 10 minutes there, feeling a little bit sick. You know, if I have some sweets, all of a sudden I might feel, oh, I feel sick. But I haven't actually been sick after this chemo. I haven't had no diarrhea, which is another side effect of chemotherapy. This time round, I might have had 20 minutes in total of feeling a little bit rubbish. But when I say a little bit rubbish, I've forgot about it as soon as I've thought about it. But I say, filling skips, this and that. It is not, I feel, absolutely 100% tip top.
Well, when I walked in and you was lying on the floor fitting a dishwasher and ripping your kitchen apart, I got that idea.
And what I am doing, and I will be honest, I'm taking things a little bit easier. What I'm doing in a day, I would probably have got done within half a day before. But I've also got to remember that I am ill, so I will do a bit, but then I will stop and have a cuppa or a drink, but then crack on, because I don't want to knacker myself up. But I could do more if I wanted, but I'm just choosing not to.
Sense and sensibility.
Yeah, take it nice. I'm getting, whilst I'm off, all my little bits are getting done, and I'm just being a bit cautious with it. Being so I'm feeling so good, I don't want to overdo it and put myself back. I will do what I feel comfortable with, and it's not restricting me doing anything at the moment.
Excellent. I mean, I find it amazing that you're doing what you're doing. I mean, I'm looking around your kitchen now. There's bits of wood everywhere. So okay, so that's pretty much just up to date, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're feeling fine?
Yeah, 100% tip top. I don't know what. I had an interview yesterday. I had to go to work. Work phoned me and says, right, we're doing this interview over the phone. So no, we're not. I'm coming in. So no, you're ill. So no, I'm not ill. I might have an illness, but I am not ill. And that's where I am with it. For all intents and purposes, at this moment in time, I might as well not have cancer. And that's... I had an operation, as I mentioned earlier, I had an operation on my ankle. One got cancelled earlier in the year, in June, because my blood cells was too high. Don't ask me why, but nothing was chased up. But apparently that is a sign of cancer in your body, or it could be cancer in your body, if your white blood cells are too high. So, as far as I'm aware, this pancreatic cancer could be going back as far as... Well, I know something was up in June because my white blood cells was so high. So, how long I've had this, I honestly couldn't tell you. I can tell you when I've been diagnosed with this, but up till then, I don't know how long I've had it.
Okay, so, I mean, don't get us wrong, guys, this isn't about slapping the National Health around, because they're doing a fantastic job, but they've got so much on the plate, the system can't cope. Unfortunately, things get missed. Now, hopefully we've got to David in time, and as far as the surgery and the hospitals are concerned, hopefully they're on the ball. He's taking the black seed oil, and you know, there is evidence on animal tests that it will at least help. We can't turn around and say it will do this, it will do that, because it's never been to human trials, so we can't. And the object of this is to try and get somebody to take it to human trials. But as David says, he feels fine. Everybody's told him that it gets worse, where in actual fact it's not. He feels better.
I will be 100% honest with you now. The difference between the first bout of chemo and the second, I will not risk not taking black seed oil now.
Crazy.
And that is, I don't want to go back to how it was the first time. So I'm not saying it is black seed oil that's doing, but that's the only thing I've changed, and I will not be chancing not taking it. I will take it now, because that's the only thing I have done different, and it has got me through this stage pretty scot-free.
Amazing. And those are your words.
Those are my words. I would not, and I would not risk not taking now.
Amazing, because I banged on about black seed oil. I think everybody should look at it. But to hear that coming from you,
And that is 100% genuine.
Okay. Well, should we cut it loose there, and then we'll give it another week or so, and we'll
next
come back and see how you're doing. Yeah. So
fingers crossed.
we'll get together as soon after the next chemo as possible.
Yeah.
And you're feeling well. All right, guys. So a big thank you to David, and look after yourselves, look after each other. And we will make it through the night, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. See you later, guys.
Right. Cheers.